Look Up TV across all your social media platforms. I am at Kia Gesimba. Thank you very much for joining us this morning. And indeed, we are then jumping into our big conversation. And as you can see, I'm not alone on the set. I'm now officially joined by Victor Nabiswa. We're going to essentially look into what we expect to happen today at the National House, that is at the Parliament buildings, where indeed it's going to be another showdown between the minority and majority in Parliament. You'd like to think so. Victor, how are you doing, sir?
Thank you so much, Elijah.
Yes, happy to have you around.
Thank you for having me this morning.
Yes.
And good morning to our viewers. And first, I really want to, as a football fan in this country,
yes,
let me congratulate
Shabana
FC for coming back to the league. You know, they left us, AFC Leopard. Yeah. They left wherever they left us. Yeah. They are finding us there, and I hope they will not be relegated again.
Yeah, pretty much. All right, let's postulate what we are going to see today. Number one, if you saw how it happened last week, it is 176 Kenya Kwanza allied members of parliament who supported this particular bill. Of course, you'd expect that the numbers were going to play out. Is it the same thing that we're going to see today? Because we're calling it a showdown, but then the Kenya Kwanza side is telling you, what showdown? Guys, we showed you exactly what we're going to do today. Again, today, we might end up doing it the same way.
What we are going to witness today,
yes,
I doubt if we are going to have much change.
Yes.
We will have a little change, whereby those are a few members of parliament who absconded or who missed the last voting for their own reasons.
Yes.
And they will be coming in, and mostly a good number of them were from the Azimio side who missed on the voting day, and actually a few from, I think one or two, I can see Mheshimiwa Murungara was not there, and I doubt if he is among those who had been expelled for 2 weeks.
Yes.
Previously during the ruling when Sabina Chege was being saved by the speaker. Now, whatever is going to happen today, it is much similar to what happened last time, but the numbers will change a little bit.
To what side?
Actually, Azimio's side will have the number who will vote wherever the Azimio side has decided to vote will go up by a few. And as I said earlier, you may not be surprised if among those who missed, we may have one or two who will vote in favor of the bill today.
From the Azimio side?
From Azimio side.
Even, I mean, Nabiswa, even you say that, but the Azimio side has already written to members of parliament, number one, who voted against, or number two, completely became a no-show last week when this particular bill was in the second stage of its reading. Do you think that any other member of parliament now, sitting in that National House, would again today say, well, I'll vote whichever way that I want, despite what my party is saying?
Yeah, you see, Elijah, in our Kenyan political system, more so with our member of parliament, there have been this tendency whereby we are only experiencing what I can call empty threats. They will write, but what will happen after writing to me? You will write to me, you will summon me, I'll appear before the party's disciplinary committee, then what? Nothing will happen.
Are you sure? Yes. If you look at what UDA is already talking about, Wamuchomba, if you look at the proceedings that have essentially followed one, and I will tell you one, Felix Jalango, one of the Langata member of parliament, isn't it? When you look at those two, it looks as if the party is going to be supreme, like they have to do something that is going to make you think twice. Maybe we were thinking about punishing you in the sense of, well, monetary aspect. I do not think that somebody really wants to pay that much to a party just for voting against it.
You mentioned Gadhoni
Yes.
wa Mshomba.
Yes.
For her own reasons, he voted against the bill.
Does it?
And he said he's voting against the bill because her people has told her to vote
To
against
actually
the bill.
vote against the bill, yes.
But the deputy president went ahead. Actually, I might say he went ahead saying some words which looked like she's being, he's threatening her, like, why are you voting against the decision of us?
She
the party?"
actually, they were actually at a backyard, was it last weekend, isn't it? And asked, well, she's saying that you guys have said we do not want this finance bill. And then when I had to ask them, is it true that you guys do not want this thing? I mean, majority of the people did say, no, we want it.
Okay.
Yeah.
For Mshomba, I think from the party, from the decision the
Yes.
party has taken, you know, for her, I presume she's experiencing some political euphoria. You know, it's all over. We are being told that there is a poll which has been done that around 90%
Yes.
or over are against the bill. So for him, maybe he's playing a cautious game whereby he wants to vote against, so that when people, his people, will see and say, yes, our member of parliament was with us. But now, when the president went there, he asked. They said, people said, we want this bill.
Yes.
There is somewhere, I think in Busia, the president said something, then people said, no, we don't want it.
Yes.
But in her backyards, after the president asking, what was the response from the people? We want it.
We want it.
So, Wamuchomba, for me, from where I sit, I think she has some fear from the public opinion, against the public opinion.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
All right.
But now you mentioned something about Odiwar,
Yes.
Felix Jalango. I'll take the case of Jalango and
Yes.
Mwalimu Orero. You know, Mwalimu Orero, the MP for Kibra, voted for the bill. You know why? You see, the first project to be initiated, actually where the president went and placed the first stone, was where? Was it in Lang'at and Kibra? So Mwalimu Orero will think, why should I oppose the bill when my constituency is the pioneer where this project is coming up? That's why I think he boldly said, I'm voting yes. Same to Jalango. Actually, Jalango has been on record saying that I want to support the president because of this housing thing. My people don't have a house. Okay, a section of my constituents, they have a poor housing. They have poor housing structure. So the government has a good idea of uplifting the settlement of my people.
Pretty much. But let's look at it, Nabiswa Brand, in this sense, yeah? The ideal situation in voting around this particular bill would be that every other member of parliament, through their own discretion, will look at this particular bill, look at exactly what it's going to do to their constituents, and then vote for or against it. I mean, when you look at the conversations around this particular bill, you can't say that every other thing in the bill is essentially punitive or bad. No. Today, essentially, what they're going to do is vote clause upon clause, clause upon clause. But then, over this other side, they're saying that should that arise, because we do know who the majority is in this Kenya Kwanza government, it's a UDA. So when we are going to vote, and there's nothing like, well, the number of people voted for, it is essentially the speaker to see exactly where the house is voting to what, in terms of the voices that are essentially shouting around these clauses, that would essentially say yes or no to these particular clauses. Now, from where you're sitting, there's a member of parliament today from the Kenya Kwanza side who's going to look at number one, the 16% VAT on petroleum products. Do you think that is going to put them on the spotlight? Because now they're going to vote on clause after clause, Nabiswa. Do you think now the voting might change a little bit, going by the fact that today it's not essentially whether indeed it should go to the third reading. Today it's on clause after clause. Today is when we're going to see those members of parliament who are going to say, well, I support the 16% VAT on petroleum products. Do you think it might change?
I doubt. I really doubt. You know,
Yes.
we've been in this country,
Yeah.
such kind of highly debated bills have been there. We saw the security bill in the last parliament. Now, this finance bill, it has come from Kenya Kwanza, from the government.
Yes.
And you remember there was a PG, the Kenya Kwanza PG, whereby we are being told that the president took them clause by clause, and he told them why they want this bill to go through. Even during the first reading, when the report was being presented, none of the Kenya Kwanza member of parliament actually even saying that we need to amend this one. None of them actually mentioned something of the sort. Kenya Kwanza has already come with a fixed decision. Actually, whatever is playing around this bill, I might say,
Yes.
it is a political affair. You remember during the first reading and the debate, when the report came to the parliament, the other side was saying that we refuse this bill in totality, isn't it?
Yeah, that's
Kenya
essentially what they're
Kwanza
saying.
were saying,
Yeah.
we support this bill, we are not going to amend even
Any
a comma,
other comma.
even a comma.
Yes.
Now, looking at the same bill, it is insincere for a leader who would oppose this bill in totality. There might be some clauses which looked contagious, but now saying that we oppose this bill in totality, that's where now insincerity comes in. When a member of parliament knows
Yes.
that there is a clause which is going to exempt LPG gas. We are crying, the prices of gases have gone up. There is an aspect or a clause which is saying we are going to zero rate agricultural produce. But someone is saying we oppose it in totality. Now, there is a clause which actually looks impunitive. Let's say, okay, this VAT bill, before VAT, the whole debate has been around the 3% housing, which came to 1.5 after the amendments from the committee.
Yes.
The debate has been revolving around the housing thing. Actually, towards the last week or a few days to voting is when now they tried to come in. Then we were told about VAT 16%. Actually, honestly, when this dialogue came about, everybody, that guy from Ushago there, everything he knew was about housing. There was actually, someone was asking, like, I went in the village, I met someone, when we were having a chat, he was asking, now, why are you discussing about housing when you are not discussing about us, the farmers? We are not discussing about the economy.
Yes.
I told him, it's okay, but now the debate has come up. And this debate, we have actually, the opposition did very well. Where the government went wrong, there was a lapse in communication. Actually, the communication, the government communication was to blame around this thing. When the bill came up, the first thing opposition told us, the government is reducing VAT to buy for those who want to buy what? Choppers. They told us, sincerely, it's not choppers, it's just the parts. But they told us, those who want to buy the choppers. They told us, these guys want to tax you to buy to buy houses.
Yes.
Now, whatever suited the opposition when they were discussing this housing in public, they never even mentioned that those people in